Here's more wrestling news for February 11th, 2023, and at this moment, Vince McMahon is in search of a buyer for WWE, with multiple names listed as interested prospects. Whether it's Fox, Disney, Amazon, or the Saudis, whoever buys WWE will need to have some pretty deep pockets, with the company projected to sell for approximately $8 billion. This is a staggeringly large amount of money, but if a sale goes through, just how much will McMahon himself be taking home? While breaking down the numbers based on their current financial interests, it is projected that McMahon will earn over $2.5 billion if the company sells, by far the highest earning from this deal. Former WWE chairwoman Stephanie McMahon would earn $170 million, with current CEO Nick Khan earning $13.8 million, while poor old Triple H would have to make do with just over $8 million. Of course, to get this ridiculous amount of money, Vince needs to actually find a buyer, something Nick Khan believes will only take 3 months, but who do you hope to see handed the keys to the kingdom? After his shock retirement last July, fans thought they'd seen the last of McMahon in WWE, and it turns out, so did many potential buyers. In the 5 months he was gone, WWE's business was on a considerable upswing, but now McMahon's return threatens that progress, as well as a possible sale. In the Wrestling Observer newsletter, it is said that the belief is that McMahon's presence is a hindrance and not a help in these negotiations. The mere fact that the man who paid millions upon millions of dollars to keep women quiet over alleged sexual harassment is now back in charge is surely giving some of the names interested in buying WWE second thoughts about making a deal. Vince McMahon has always said that his reason for returning is to oversee the sale of WWE, but much like the creative department and the talent relations department, the 77-year-old billionaire isn't wanted around by those trying to make a deal happen. During this week's Dynamite, MJF cut a gruesome promo in which he spoke about crashing a car during his younger years and the accident killing the woman who was in the vehicle. MJF even called the woman Liv, a nod to WWE's Liv Morgan, which resulted in the superstar trending, and it was reported yesterday that some fans had even called the Nassau Police Department, believing that MJF's promo was real. The 434 page on Facebook added fuel to the fire when they made a post saying that the Nassau Police Department was flooded by calls from over 300 people. After some inspection, it appears it was just a false rumor. The post by the Facebook page blew up, pushing MJF further into the headlines. ESPN reporter Mark Raimondi set out to find how much truth there was to the claim by the Facebook page. Raimondi took to Twitter to address the rumor. After a call to the Nassau County Police Department, Raimondi found out that the claim appears to be false. It turns out that people did not call the Nassau cops on MJF, but the fact that the initial report seemed believable just goes to show how effective MJF can be on the mic. Since being moved from NXT UK to WWE NXT, JD McDonough has been on a roll and has even challenged for the NXT Championship in the past. Now though, fans won't be seeing the Irish Ace in action, as in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, it is confirmed that he is out with an eye injury. We don't know how this injury happened, but he did compete on this week's NXT, and we're wishing McDonough a speedy recovery. In the 4 matches he has competed in, Logan Paul has proven he belongs in a WWE ring and is on the road to WrestleMania 39. It had been reported that WWE's plan for Paul is to face Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, and in The Observer, it's reported that this match is as close to official as possible without the match being announced. Paul has excelled in the ring, and working with Rollins should provide an excellent match, one worthy of a spot on the WrestleMania card. WrestleMania 39 will be returning to Los Angeles this year, the first time the show has been hosted in Hollywood since 2005, and WWE has big plans to promote the event. That's according to WrestleVotes, who reports that WWE has begun filming movie parodies to promote WrestleMania, with The Miz, Drew McIntyre, The Brawling Brutes, and The Street Profits just some of the names involved. From Triple H's Braveheart to The Undertaker as Dirty Harry, the WrestleMania 21 parodies remain a hit with fans to this day. And what films would you like to see get a WWE parody this year? During the latest AEW Dynamite, the women's world title match between Jamie Hayter and the Bunny ended abruptly after what appeared to be a botched maneuver by Hayter. According to PW Insider, the belief backstage is that the Bunny may have suffered a concussion or a broken orbital bone, though neither she nor AEW have confirmed this. Currently, the news around the Bunny is just hearsay, but it is confirmed, however, that the Bunny is about to get tested to get an official diagnosis. While she hasn't been featured as highly as stars like Britt Baker or Thunder Rosa, the Bunny is one of AEW's longest tenured women, and we're wishing her all the best after this week's match didn't go as planned. Last month, Mercedes Mone made her debut for New Japan Pro Wrestling and immediately set her sights on IWGP Women's Champion Kairi. As one of the biggest names in WWE's women's division, it's hardly a surprise that Mone is being paid well by Bushiroad, New Japan's parent company, but she's not getting as much as first believed. After her debut, it was reported that per appearance, Mone was Bushiroad's highest paid performer ever, earning even more than Chris Jericho during his stint in New Japan. In the latest Wrestling Observer newsletter, though, it is clarified that not only is the former Sasha Banks not earning as much as Jericho, but is apparently nowhere even close. It's said that the money she's making is nowhere near what Mone could be making if she were with AEW or WWE, though it's worth bearing in mind that signing with those companies would be a full-time role. Mercedes Mone is filling a dream of hers to wrestle the best Japanese women she can, even if it's for far less than she was making full-time in WWE, and it remains to be seen if she'll dethrone Kairi as promised next week at Battle in the Valley. It's been less than 2 months since Mandy Rose was released from WWE over the nature of her content found on her website. Rose's release came just 24 hours after her 413-day reign as NXT Women's Champion was ended by Roxanne Perez, and her release is something that Rose apparently saw coming. Speaking on the sessions, Rose explained that the original plan had been for the title to change hands at NXT Vengeance Day, and when she was informed that the title change had been moved up by 2 months, she knew something was up. She added, "The next day, which I was anticipating with how everything went down, I was making jokes about it actually the night before. Because you know how we are, it's the only way to get through it. I was making jokes about it, and all the girls were like, 'Oh my god, stop, no, you're crazy.' And I'm like, it's not crazy." Sure enough, the day after making jokes about being released, Rose received the dreaded call from Connecticut, but given that she has a cousin in the state, she wasn't quite sure how to answer. Ultimately, the call was from WWE, who felt they had no choice but to cut her, but given the fortune she's made on her website, it's Mandy Rose who's been having the last laugh. From the moment Rose was released, the rumor mill churned with speculation as to what really happened, with various claims as to how things went down. One popular theory that has been claimed as fact is that Rose was warned several times about her website and repeatedly refused to take the site down, given that she was making more online than in the ring. Now, though, Rose has categorically denied this claim, as she explained to Renee Paquette on the sessions that she never had a warning from WWE to take the site down. Instead, Rose received a message from her lawyer saying that they had spoken to WWE's legal team and encouraged her to take the site down, and she immediately complied. She added, "The next day is when I lost the title and I got fired the following day. I never had a warning. I know there's a lot of news out there that says I was warned. I never did, but it could have been different for sure." Rose said she felt awful for Roxanne Perez, who was winning the title without much build and whose reign was instantly overshadowed by her release. And time will tell if we ever see Mandy Rose back in a WWE ring. And we're ending with Rhea Ripley, who wasn't on Raw this week, and as it turns out, the 2023 Women's Rumble winner wasn't in the US. Instead, Ripley was in her native Australia, and given that she hasn't been able to see her family in years due to her schedule and COVID restrictions, we're sure that this was a very happy reunion for the Eradicator.